I'm Alena Pribly, and I'm the senior scientist at Microba. And I do a lot of the scientific support at Microba. I've been delving into the gut microbiome literature for probably a good 5 to 6 years now. And so I try to support all the different areas in our company with knowledge about what's coming out in the latest research. The gut microbiome is a community of microorganisms that live in our gut. And a fun fact is that the majority of cells that occur in our body are actually microbial in origin. So this means bacteria, fungi, and viruses. So we actually have more of these microbial cells than human cells in our body. And because of that, what we're finding out is that these microbial cells, called the microbiome, are actually playing a really strong contributing role in our health. The reason that the gut microbiome is playing such an important role in our health is because of all the different compounds that those microbes in our gut are able to produce. So we know so far of thousands of different compounds, and there's probably thousands of more that we haven't discovered yet that they're producing. And these compounds are actually interacting with our human cells. They're interacting with our immune cells, they're interacting with our metabolic system, with our cardiovascular system, even our nervous system. And that's what makes this so exciting, is because now we know for the first time that it's not only our human cells that are influencing our health, it's really also all those microbial cells in our body and what they're producing that's influencing our health. One of the key ways that those microbes in our gut are keeping us healthy is through producing these compounds called short-chain fatty acids. And they produce, these short-chain fatty acids provide many beneficial effects in our body. They help suppress inflammation. They help maintain our gut cell barrier. They help moderate our blood sugar. And they're even helping produce appetite-suppressing hormones in our gut to help our brain understand when we're full and to stop eating. And so they're regulating multiple systems in our body. And we are seeing that people that are healthy tend to have a lot of bacteria that are able to produce these beneficial compounds. And people that have a chronic disease typically have a reduced number of bacteria that can produce these compounds. Unlike our human genetics, where we're stuck with what we've got, then that might make us predisposed to certain diseases, our gut microbiome is very malleable. And so we're actually able to change it based on what we're eating, how we manage our stress, exercise, and if we're able to, some of the medications and supplements that we take. Diversity in food choices is probably one of the key ways to make sure you can maintain a good diversity of different microorganisms in your gut and make sure that those microorganisms are the ones that are producing those beneficial short-chain fatty acids that you want. And so the key is really trying to introduce as many different types of fiber into our diet as possible. And the great thing is there's tons of different sources of fiber that we can access. I mean, besides, different types of fruits and vegetables, we've got a lot of different grains out there, and they're becoming a lot more accessible now. We've really evolved from first only being able to look at the gut microbiome in terms of very low resolution bacterial groups, to now having the technology be cost effective enough that we can get really high resolution data about who's in the gut at the species and even strain level, and also information about what those bacteria are actually doing in your gut, which is really exciting because now that's going to help us actually piece together the puzzle of how are these different bacterial species actually influencing disease states. Reading, the scientific evidence that's come out and all the studies that have been coming out in the last 10 years, it just blows your mind at how much these little microbes are actually influencing our health, about the diversity of compounds that they're producing that can actually, activate the same receptors that human-produced compounds can activate. And so that they are actively changing our immune system and changing how we respond to different stimuli. It's just incredible. And so the potential to be able to harness that information and use that in a clinical sense to produce new therapeutics to treat disease to produce new non-invasive diagnostics that are potentially going to be more accurate than the ones we currently have is amazing.